One thing they never taught me in school was how to fail. From an early age, you're told to reach for the stars, and that anything is possible. Of course, the problem being with this is that if your goal is impossibly high, failing is a very likely outcome. And if you're not prepared, it can feel like the world is crumbling in around you. The other problem, of course, becomes if your entire focus is zoned in on this goal, if your entire self-image and esteem is focused inwards to this one goal, then of course the problem becomes that if this doesn't work for you, you may feel like a complete fuck-up, and the quality of your life therefore subpar, if not downright depressing. One of the best stories that would downright humble a man is that of the KFC's Colonel. The man's recipe was rejected 1,009 times. Now, I don't know about you, but hearing from me, the prospect of being told to fuck off over and over would make me begin to doubt myself. Mix that in with an ever-competitive drive to be the best, and you get such lovely things as video game rage.
Oh, motherfucker! Really? Holy shit. What just happened?
So what's the antidote to this poison? Well, for starters, diversifying your interests is a huge one. Because if you fail at one of them, your momentum and self-esteem doesn't have to drop dead. You can move on to the next thing and come back to what you were doing when you've calmed down. Now this sounds simple, but success in video games, cooking, or whatever it may be does not define success or value in you as a person. It can help to have someone close give you reassurance when you need a pick-me-up. Confidence is such a huge tool, and simple affirmations like "I'm the best" and "I can do this" create a good starting point when beginning a task. Hell, if your life's goal was a singular climb to Mount Everest, it can feel great with everything leading up to it. The obstacles, trials, and tribulations make for a good molding of one bad motherfucker. But without other things, once the high is worn off from completing your life's work, life can begin to feel empty. Just take a look at the story of Tyson Fury and listen to what he had to say after climbing the mountain of boxing when he beat Vladimir Klitschko.
It was more than that. It started off like I'd suffered with mental health problems my whole life, but I didn't know what it was because I never had no education on the matter. And it wasn't until after the Klitschko fight, a very massive high, then I had to have a even worse low, lowest low that anyone could ever have. I'd wake up and I think, why did I wake up this morning? This is coming from a man who had everything: money, fame, glory, titles, a wife, a family, kids, everything. But I felt as if I had nothing. I felt there was an empty, gaping hole that was just filled with gloom and doom, and it just was one bad thing happened to me after another.
If the top of the point is the mountain, then the natural next move is descent down that said mountain to the very bottom. It should also be mentioned that with goals come huge sacrifices. You're going to give up a lot of free time and have to tell your friends maybe next time more than once. In the words of Play, success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do. It's not just your progress that matters either. It's the people you surround yourself with, as their words and actions can influence you in the direction of your life. Part of success is hitting the fat payday, and it's rarely ever done alone. Instead, with the collective support and efforts of the people around you. But the worst nightmare that becomes a reality is when someone evil wins it and forgets all that.
The lottery jackpot, being handed that big check. The dream came true for an aunt and her nephew in Nova Scotia. They won Chase the Ace. But when they saw how the winnings were split, Well, that's when things turn sour. Gary Mansfield picks things up from there.
That's ace of spades.
It was all smiles after Barb Reddick and her nephew Tyrone McGinnis picked up their big win, $1.2 million Chase the Ace jackpot. But it didn't take long for things to turn sour when both were handed separate checks for $600,000.
Chase the Ace winners is going to court. I'm taking him to court. It was my ticket.
Why's that?
Because I bought the ticket. And now he's trying to lie and say I said split. I said split with the 50-50, not with no Chase the Ace. I'm taking him to court. I'm getting my lawyer tomorrow.
Both names were on the winning ticket.
This woman was willing to sacrifice a family bond over greed, someone she said was like a son to her. And it showed where her priorities were. As Timothy Ferris put it so well, money doesn't change you. It reveals who you are when you no longer have to be nice. So we've seen these cautionary tales. And the question becomes, what do we do now? And while I have no simple answer for you, I hope that this video can offer as a waypoint and a guidance on your path to greatness. Because it's not just your path. You're walking it with all the people that are right behind you and who have been there for you. So when you succeed, never forget those who lifted you up so you could climb up to that mountain. Thank you.